Hello everyone, welcome back to The Media Couple. I'm Rory.
And I'm Sophie.
And this week we're talking Celebrity Traitors finale.
Is there anything else we could talk about?
There is nothing. There genuinely is nothing.
No, quickly, just a heads up, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched, maybe now is the time to go somewhere else and then come back to us. If you have watched, well, boy, do we have a treat for you.
I mean, what a finale it was. I mean, I think we should just start right at the top and say, I mean, you said, I think that could potentially be one of the best moments in television history.
I mean, that's a bold statement.
I'm saying it. You've heard me on this podcast. I'm saying it.
That is a bold statement. I mean, I definitely think one of the best moments this year.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
For
I mean, hands down.
British public.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think everybody was watching. It came out on Thursday. We watched it on Sunday because Rory had been away.
That's right.
So we had to sort of hibernate ourselves from
social media
and any sort of exactly.
Yeah.
I was getting news notifications about the traitors, and I'm going, how do I avoid this? Because it's just been in the cultural conversation.
Yeah, for so long. And obviously friends talk about it, lots, and you're just like, da.
I was on the train down on Friday morning. So obviously it came out on Thursday. I was on the train down on Friday morning. The people behind me were having a full-blown conversation about it. I had to literally squeeze my headphones into my ear just to go like, don't tell me who did it.
You were like, sorry guys, I'm recording a pod about this coming Sunday. So if you could just
be
quiet.
Zip it.
Yeah, just
that
zip
would be great.
But yeah, I think we should take it from the top. So,
Indeed.
The final game, what did we think of that? So it was on a steam train.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was fun.
Do you know what? I didn't mind the final game, but I did prefer the one from the normal Traitors last year. You know, when they had to be carried around with a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
I do think I didn't think the steam train was bad, but I do think it didn't quite top the helicopter.
Didn't quite hit, yeah. No. I mean, we did get a couple of funny moments in the steam train bit.
We did.
You know,
we did.
With Joe and Alan. Alan was just like, stop shouting at me. I love watching Alan Carr do challenges. I would just watch him do them all day.
Yeah, he's good.
But yeah, it was really good. And then obviously back to the castle, we had the final banishment roundtable. How do we think that went? Was it it was intense.
Well, as we spoke about last week, I think we kind of all expected Nick to go for Cat and Joe to go for Cat.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And I think that was kind of a given. And then we saw the conversations happen between Joe and Cat and Alan and how they decided to go for David. And obviously Joe was planning to double bluff.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, Cat and Joe's conversation at the round table when Cat basically said, I'm sorry, or Joe said,
Joe said, I'm sorry to Cat.
Is kind of...
It's kind of what switched it in Nick's head,
yeah.
I think, because it's really weird. Those two have been the strongest pair of faithfuls the whole way through. David, I kind of feel like he's been isolated the whole way through.
Yes,
he's had his own thinking to do. But it's interesting because
and he's been wrong the entire time.
I mean, yeah, it's been so wrong. Considering this guy's a historian, come on, David. Okay, your whole job is based in fact. Okay, and David's just like, I don't know. Here's me. If I ever go on Traitors, God, you'll be like, Rory went out first round. God, it was useless. What was he saying? But it's true, though. It's true. They had such a good plan. And then I thought that, I was sat next to you. I remember saying, Cat and Alan are done. They're so toast. Joe and Nick are playing this so well, because when Alan went and sat with Joe, he was like, oh, it's going to be so sorrow. It's so bad, isn't it, when they lose? They just have no idea. And I'm like, oh God, they full on know. I know. And then you're so correct. When Joe put up Cat's name on that board, I think it was a bit of a nail in his own coffin.
He didn't realise, but saying that I'm sorry is what I think for Nick, because Nick, which is interesting, I really didn't see Nick wavering from Joe.
No, me neither. Not at all.
I really didn't. And then it was like all of a sudden it kind of, he kind of second guessed himself maybe and just went, no, I think it's Joe.
Yeah.
And then, that whole interaction with Cat just kind of sealed his fate a little bit. And then obviously at the second time when they went back after the second time, and when Alan said that they'd had a sort of alliance to get David out, I think that also kind of, well, for David, obviously he wasn't going to go anywhere else other than trying to get Joe out. But I think that was kind of the final confirmation that Nick needed to switch and change that alliance.
It's amazing though, because Nick, I think, has played a blinder of a game.
Oh.
I think he's been brilliant for weeks.
I know.
And then he had his suspicions about Alan.
Yeah.
He said, I think it's Alan and Cat. And then you're there but he's so devoted to Joe. I was just like, there's no way he's going to waver that loyalty. No. And then bam, one instant, like you said, I'm sorry, Cat. in his head, he's like, hang on a minute.
Why are you sorry?
Why are you sorry?
Yeah.
This is a game. Like, why are you sorry about it? You've been hunting traitors left, right, and centre.
Yeah. And I think Nick was so sure on Kat, and that was the danger. Like, if it had been anybody else, if Joe had said, I'm sorry to like Alan or David, I don't think it would have quite had the impact. But because Nick was so sure, like realistically, this final episode was all about Nick and Joe's alliance.
Yeah,
and
how strong it was.
And how strong it was, and whether it would make it to the end.
It's a good,
If those two had stuck together, obviously it would have been a very different outcome. But I mean, that moment when it all went Joe.
Yeah,
Joe,
so I mean,
Joe.
so obviously we're building up to that point. Kat goes.
Yeah.
And obviously in this case, she was not allowed to reveal if she was a traitor or if she wasn't. So then it's kind of like, okay, right. Did we make the right call? I thought her defense around the banishment table wasn't the strongest in that moment. But then I feel like with Kat, I've always thought her best defense has been being quiet. Right?
It has, totally. Yeah. And she the one thing I will say about Kat, I think, is what she's come out with this with is basically being a household name now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I wouldn't say she was necessarily a household name quite in the same way that she is now off the back of Traitors.
No.
So regardless of where she's come, she's now known.
Well, yeah, she made it to the final, didn't she?
Yeah, she made it to the final. She's known, like she's come out of this realistically with sort of the best that you could come.
The best outcome.
And and she played well, she played fair.
Yeah.
Well, as fair as you can be while being a traitor.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think in terms of her like image, it hasn't hurt her in any way, shape or form. It's really helped her.
100%.
And I think she's really well placed now to continue and capitalize on this. She's posting about it on TikTok all the time, really engaging
she is
with
loving
people.
it, isn't she? Yeah. I mean, I just think though it is quite ironic that two comedians made it to the final. The final round table. But yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that final moment. So obviously, Kat is banished. Sad to see her go. Shame. But they were then convinced, right? And I think all of us were convinced. Like I turned to you and was like, "That's it. Alan is toast. Like he is history. The faithfuls have done it. Joe has done it. What a blinder." Over. Then we get to the point. Everyone throws their bag into the fire, and it all goes red.
I know.
Everyone is like, no, there's a traitor amongst us still here.
But we all knew that was coming. It was just who whether or not the alliance was going to stick between Nick and Joe.
And I remember I was just looking at you going, this is it, Sophie. Like Alan's history. Like, look how worried he looks. And, and then, with them writing down, aren't they? Writing the names. Alan goes first. Yeah. Joe, I believe it's you because of what you did to Kat. And what I think is amazing, you brought it up with me, that Alan brought up the fact that him, Kat, and Joe had a discussion that same day or the day before about voting for David. And then it's like, and you turned on her. You turned on her. We had an agreement that we would do it. And you changed the vote. So I think you're a traitor. That's why. Yeah. And again, I think that was for me in my head, that was the move that sealed the deal. Yeah. Like I was like, Joe, you've been outplayed. Yeah. And he knew it. Yeah. He knew it, which is so funny because then it goes to David. Yeah. Joe, it's you. And then Nick, you're like, oh, and then obviously Joe voted for Alan. But then it's funny because it gets to Nick and you're like, there's no way. Like Nick is going to totally go for Alan or David or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's no way. And Joe, he falters on Joe. I know. I feel like that was the moment when everyone was like, this is it. What has just happened? It was just a collective, oh my God. It was fun. Oh, it was so good. Oh, it was so good. And then I think what makes it, and then after that, Alan getting through to the final end and then everyone throws the bag at Joe is gone and the look on his face is just, oh my God, what have you done? Just like, I know. And then literally he leaves and then the three remaining players throw their bags in. Yeah. One goes green, the next goes green, and then you're looking at Nick and it goes green and you're like, and then in that moment I was like, yes, Alan Carr has won the game. I know. I think do you know what? I think what is so brilliant about Alan winning this game is that from the very beginning, he has been a firm favourite of everybody's. He has been arguably the most entertaining to watch. Yeah. Definitely the most characterful in terms of playing to the camera and playing to the strengths of the game. Yeah. He's really engaged in the game in a way that I think a lot of the other
players didn't manage to do quite so brilliantly.
Yeah.
So it feels like we've kind of been with him. Well, we have been with him on this journey, but more so with him on his side, kind of rooting for him. So to see him get from where he was getting Linda comparisons in the very beginning for being such an awful traitor, to then winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it's such a storyline.
It's a proud moment.
It's such a poetic
and
ending.
Like the way he was so emotional. And they came over again by her.
I mean, I did cry, but it did make me laugh how he was like, oh, it's such a burden. I was like, hang on, two episodes ago, you were like, yes.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, he's dead.
Her.
Gone. Yeah, gone. Goodbye, Celia.
I know. It's like you've done all the murdering in plain sight, but it's such a burden, Alan.
Yeah, it's such a burden. You wouldn't understand what I have to carry.
I know, I did love that.
You're right, though. He's been the perfect player for a television show game.
I mean, I think it goes to show why he is
fantastic.
Who he is on TV as well, and why he hosts a chat show as well.
Yeah.
He is clearly made for
entertainment.
Showbiz.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
he just is.
I think he provided entertainment. He was actually quite cunning, which was
but
amazing.
Lovable and charming.
And I think you wanted him to win as a traitor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You were really, really rooting for him to do it.
Yeah.
And what I think it's really interesting about this game, because David made it to the final and so did Nick, two highly intelligent people, right? Both made it to the final. But what I find really interesting is that the comedian won.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Nick's a comedian as well.
I know Nick's a comedian, yeah, totally. But I just find it interesting that a lot of this game is theatre.
I know, but totally, yes. And I think that's the thing that this series has shown us more than anything is if you can get people on side by being, and I think Alan is very socially aware. And I think that's also what has helped him get through this game in a way that maybe the others just, and it makes sense. He's a chat show host. He's going to have to be able to be socially aware to make situations light, to be able to bring humor.
Good at reading people as well, having conversations.
It makes sense why he would get to where he's gotten to in this game. I also think that's why Jonathan Ross probably was so good.
Yeah, but Jonathan was targeted for the big dog theory.
Exactly.
So it makes a lot of sense.
But realistically, it like when you think about what their jobs are, it makes sense that they're able to get people on side, get them to believe you, because that's what he does day in, day out. Make
them like you, basically.
Yeah, so it makes sense that he would be a brilliant player.
It's what Nick kind of was alluding to, right? It was sort of just this like, I can't believe it's Alan.
No,
like he just wouldn't do that.
And that's the genius.
And that's the thing, right? It's like, but Joe had literally shown you devout faithfulness, sabotaging the game. Like he couldn't have made, but even still, he voted for Joe.
I know. But I think that's the thing. I think this game, in a way, is set up to allow people to win who have that personality trait in them.
To do it.
It's not, part of it, I think, is gameplay, of course. And I think Nick and Joe both played the game. But realistically, if you're up against someone like Alan Carr, whose personality just is innately so infectious.
Yeah.
How are you how are you ever gonna win? You just aren't.
I think back to the original Traitors when Harry won it. And it's really interesting with him.
He was so lovable.
He was very lovable. He was young, but he played a blinder.
Yeah.
He convinced I can't remember the girl he finished with at the end, convinced her to her face, I am a faithful.
Yeah.
Like you have to trust me.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
Over. He won. And
it's the people who you don't expect as the faithful, the people who you're like, never, it could never be them. It's always
them. When will we learn? Oh God. But yeah, it was, I must say I thoroughly enjoyed the series. I didn't think, I remember at the start, I thought, I don't know if I'm liking this. There's this PR that face on these celebs and I'm like,
it took a little bit longer to get into, I think, than the normal Traitors does.
Yeah.
Because right out the gate, people weren't savage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think this one has brought in different elements. And I think in a way, in its own way, it's been arguably just as good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been so entertaining. And I'm just so happy that someone like Alan Carr got the victory.
I know. Now, who's going to do it next year?
I was going to ask you. So,
Yes.
So, go on. I'll ask you first. Ladies first.
Oh.
Who would you like to do the Celebrity Traitors next
Well,
year?
I mean, there's only one chat show host left, really, who has to go into it. Graham Norton.
Graham Norton. Oh, he'd be good.
He has to go
He'd
into
be
it. He has to go.
good.
We've had Jonathan Ross. We've had Alan Carr. Graham Norton, you are best placed to go in and be a traitor.
Yeah, Graham Norton's got to go and be a traitor. I'd quite like to see Judi Dench in it.
Oh, yeah, or Helen Mirren.
Yeah, or Helen Mirren, or Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Someone like that.
Oh,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Someone with like that theatre.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to
Ian
see.
McKellen's a really good shout.
Right, and like
actually.
also like lovely, like very lovable, right?
Do you know who I'd quite like? David Beckham.
David Beckham. Oh, he could be interesting.
Like he could be, I feel like he'd be
He
a bit
could
like
be.
the Joe.
Yeah, and a bit of a. I feel like David Beckham could be a bit of a leader in that pack.
Totally.
Like
I mean,
once
he
got,
would be the biggest dog ever.
I mean, could you imagine though the heat would be on?
If they got David Beckham, I think that would be insane. I mean, I don't know if that would realistically ever happen, but in an ideal world, oh my God, I would
that
love
would be
it.
cool. That would be cool. I would love that.
Yeah.
No, that would be really cool. Can you I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else would go into
Well,
it.
there's a lot of people who go into it in the very beginning.
Because I must admit, the casting for this series was fantastic.
They did a really, really good job.
Jonathan Ross, Alan Carr, Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Like they got some huge names into this show.
David Beckham. I mean, that would top them all, I think.
David, come on, you can do this. All right.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see that. But Ian McKellen, oh, that's a good shout. I think it's going to be. Do you know what? For me, Traitors is doing like it's getting the cultural conversation. It's getting people watching live television again.
Yeah.
It's getting people sitting down and all talking about something similar, which TV has had a hard time getting people to do.
I think they've got something of a great formula there. Because
so
I think,
let's ride it whilst it's here, guys.
Yeah, I think was it you saying that like it had attracted the most views sort of ever for a BBC show or something like that.
Not ever, but recently.
Recently,
yes.
Yeah. Which is like incredible in the way that we're constantly seeing TVs on the decline and it's not working and all these things. But this is a show that has brought it back, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, well, all thank you to Alan Carr.
All thanks to Mr. Alan Carr. I mean, what a guy, and incredible.
Cinematic masterpiece.
I just want him to come back all the time.
Oh, it's brilliant. And to the team who made this show and who put all this together.
Yeah, well done.
Hats off to you guys.
It was very good.
It was brilliant and really fun to watch and really enjoyable. It makes you remember why TV is so great.
Exactly. And on that lovely note, I think we're going to end it there. So this does, very sadly, come to the end of our Traitors series on the Media Couple podcast. For now, yes. Obviously, it will be back in 2026. And me and Sophie have been talking about potentially doing some other, sort of playlists and series based on other shows. So, yeah.
We'll put a poll up on our YouTube channel. And
you
guys let us know what you think. If you want to watch if we should do any of the other shows coming up soon. So do keep an eye out for that. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We do put out an episode every single week. Next week, obviously, will not be Traitors themed. So we'll be back to our usual programming.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do thank you for being here. If you have enjoyed this, do hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Drop a comment below. If you're listening, please do give us a review. It really does help. As ever, thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.